This is the award-winning Lee Pitts Live.
This portion of Lee Pitts Live is brought to you by Hodges University, celebrating 25 years of educating Southwest Florida.
Southwest Florida was so thrilled that you stayed with us over the past 4 weeks as we've been here on the River District, downtown Fort Myers. That name has been branded now. It's been branded, and we branded it even more on Lee Pitts Live. And of course, we're going to be coming back to the River District. This was just too good. And a lot of the good that took place here was because of Paight, the executive director of the Fort Myers Redevelopment Agency. And we want to give a shout out to those people over at Harborside as well. Don, welcome to Lee Pitts Live. Let's bump you in, man.
Glad to be here.
Man,
thanks for the invitation.
Thanks for having us out here for this great inaugural Lee Pitts Live on the River District.
Well, we got to make it a permanent thing. I think you found a nice home for yourself here.
Now, let's say we do make this a permanent thing. The people at Harborside say that stuff goes on in here, so I have to work it around their schedule, or would they have to work it around Lee Pitts Live?
Well, I don't know. You might take precedent with Lee Pitts Live. You know, it's a big name show. Others will have to work around your schedule, I think.
Man, I just want to personally thank you, man. It's just been a thrill. It's been a great opportunity. And the fact that you and I first met like maybe 20, 25 years ago when you were, I mean, this vision wasn't going on, but you were doing some redevelopment projects. And now to see this and to be able to me personally, pay homage to you for this great work, it's just a thrill to me. And a lot of people have come in the past weeks and talked about you. How does that make you feel?
Well, I feel great. I feel humbled by all of it because it's certainly, it's not a one-man job. We've had tremendous support from the mayors over the years and the city councils and the city staff and the city manager. It's a team effort. Everybody has to work together. I certainly helped craft the vision and bring the planners together and the architects, but in the end result, it's the community coming together to follow the plan and make it happen. And getting the word out, which we do with shows like yours, that gets the information out to the public about what's going on, development opportunities, and kind of tracks that progress over the years.
Let's take a look now. We're going to take a look at a commercial that sort of highlights the River District. And when we come back, we'll have some various photos that'll be showing as well. Let's take a look.
Watch a beautiful sunset followed by a night on the town, all along the brick streets of the historic Fort Myers River District. Over 54 restaurants, bars, and nightclubs. Go to myriverddistrict.com for the best deals the River District has to offer. Outdoor dining, year-round, all along the historic streets of the Fort Myers River District. Over 54 restaurants and 34 retail shops. Go to myriverddistrict.com for the best deals the River District has to offer.
That commercial really kind of capsulized a wide variety of things that are happening in downtown Fort Myers. And if I were to be looking at that commercial, say 15 years ago, I would say that you guys were lying. You're making this up. That's not that much fun downtown. It's slow, it's sleepy, it's dead. Some old tourists may be down there every now and then, but that looked like, young, old, all different races, just a vibrant downtown. Is that what you envisioned?
Exactly. Downtown should be the gathering place for the community. All ages, all races, all backgrounds, and that's what we are now achieving with things like Art Walk and Music Walk and the shops and the restaurants. We've become a destination for people to go to for entertainment and recreation, and that's exactly what we had in mind. It took a while to achieve it, but we're getting there.
So what happens now is when we were downtown in particular was largely dependent on the tourist season and all of that. So outside of the tourist season, as we're moving outside of that season right now, the so-called season, we still have a place to go, the residents here and people who are coming through to continue to enjoy themselves on the River District.
Exactly. We like to say, come on down now because you don't have to wait in line to get into the restaurants. We kind of the Floridians take back the community in the summertime when, as I said, all of our northern guests go back home again. But we continue our activities year round. A lot of the events, the music walks and art walks, the car cruise-ins, they're year round. Every weekend there's something going on in downtown, and that's what we like. Describe
to our television audience where we are right now. They're like, where are they right now? We see that river back there.
Well, we're in a building called the City Pier, which is right at the end of Henry Street. It was originally built as a high-speed ferry terminal that didn't quite work out, so the city inherited the building.
And now it's the Lee Pitts Live studio. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah, we got to put the new name on the front, I think. But it's a great building. Right now it's being operated by Harborside for special events. They do weddings, receptions, corporate meetings here. And as you can see, you can't beat the view.
Beat it. And then you got the people you're not familiar with it when you come downtown you see that cruise boat. Tell them about that cruise boat that's right there.
Well, I've got the Captain JP that docks right next door
Right.
to City Pier. And they go out on dinner cruises, sightseeing cruises, up and down the river. It's an old paddle wheel, stern wheeler. Great trip to go on. They have good food and nice scenery out on the river.
We're looking at photos now of downtown, the River District. And while we're looking at those photos, we had a restaurateur in here last week, Zach Kearns, and he talked about all the things that they're doing in terms of restaurants downtown. Just talk in general about the retail and things that's happening on the River District. We don't want to use that term downtown, do we? Am I screwing up?
Well, we like to use the River District. It's still downtown. It'll always be downtown. But the River District is, I think, a better description since we are on the river. But yeah, the activity has been tremendous. People like Zach and his restaurant group, they just opened their 5th restaurant down here.
Unbelievable.
Which is, it's really helped a lot of the other restaurants because they bring a lot of people down. They do a great job of theming the restaurants, and it's seeing others grow. And just in the last couple of weeks, we've had a new coffee shop move in down on Hendry Street called the Java House. We've got an all-night diner that's coming in, flat tops, over on First Street. And we just this past 2 weeks ago had Lululemon's open up, which is a national chain for women's exercise and fitness clothing, very high end. Their next nearest shop is Naples, and they chose downtown River District, and they just opened their doors recently. So we're real pleased. And just in the last week, I've had calls from at least 4 different businesses that are looking for downtown locations.
I tell you, one of my favorite spots, and I know it's been here for a minute, is even today, before I came to the studio, I got a chance to stop at Starbucks right there on the corner. Got me some Wi-Fi, got a little of that, some warm stuff in my body. I don't know what I was drinking, but I actually had water, people, but Starbucks, I'm plugging you. And it was just great. It was a great morning, and the parking was easy. And I noticed, even when I parked there by Starbucks, it says just, I could park for free for 15 minutes. So that's something, too, that you're making downtown more user-friendly in terms of parking?
Yes, we did that a number of years ago. We created what we call the Zip Zone. We offer over 200 free parking spaces in the core area of downtown. Most of the spaces are good for 2 hours of parking, so if you want to go and shop and get something to eat, you've got enough time to do so. Places like Starbucks and some of our fast food places, we've put in some 15-minute free parking spaces. So there's higher turnover. You run in, go in, get a coffee, get something to eat, and go back out. So we have some of those around like the pizza places and some of the takeout restaurants, and just makes it convenient.
Now we have some more pictures, the pictures flashing again. And people are seeing a wide range of things. They're seeing the fountain, they're seeing all these things. And of course, my favorite is that fountain. Just kind of talk about the redevelopment scheme that we're looking at there with those photos and how you laid out the city and the river tied into all of that.
Well, one of the things we did just a couple of years ago in 2010 is a riverfront plan. We have, of course, the historic district, which we want to preserve all those buildings. Most of them along First Street have all been restored and are put back into use now with restaurants and retail shops on the first floor and a lot of office and residential upstairs. But we took a look at focusing on the riverfront, and what's being proposed, of course, was the new river basin, which we finished about 2 years ago with the fountains. And that attracted a new hotel to come in. We've just finished negotiations for a new 225-room Sheraton hotel. It'll connect directly into our Harborside Convention Center. That'll be coupled with some improvements. We were able to put $9 million of improvements into Harborside that we're getting ready to start. And that'll bring conventions back to town and create a much more active riverfront. But in addition to that, we've also planned for additional restaurants, retail shops, and residential along some of the other waterfront areas. And at the same time, council's elected to keep the actual waterfront itself open to the public. So things like Centennial Park, the yacht basin, public walkways, a river walk will continuously provide access to the public.
Now, when you're planning this all out, you have to always work in that residential piece. That residential piece down here feeds downtown, feeds the River District, even when we're not in this season. And it's and a lot of the residents, they actually enjoy shopping. Do we have we have a Publix not too far away, but we don't really have a grocery store on the River District. Or would you consider that?
Publix is the closest. We helped bring Publix in a few years ago. And it's close enough that you can ride down with a free trolley to go to Publix or even walk if you're on West First Street. But you're absolutely right. Our goal is to have about 10,000 people living downtown on a regular year-round basis. Right now, we're up to probably between 5,000 and 6,000 people. with the condominiums that have been built and some of the residential that's been put on the upper floors of the old historic buildings. But our goal, I know Andreas Duani, who is our planner for downtown, he set a goal of about having 10,000 people because that really makes it a neighborhood. That helps support the restaurants and the retail shops all year long, even in the slower summer season.
Now, right now, people are looking at us in the surrounding 7 counties, and they're learning about the River District even more. So entrepreneurs are looking right now. Give them a website and a phone number that they can go to if they want to get more information about the River District.
Sure, they can go on the city website, which is www.cityftmyers.com. And on the city website, if they look under the Community Redevelopment Agency tab, they can get information on our downtown plan, incentives, as well as information on our other redevelopment districts, because we work on Martin Luther King Boulevard, on Palm Beach Boulevard, on US 41. So we have a number of other redevelopment districts around the community. But the city website is a good place to go.
Okay.
If you're looking for events, look for myriverddistrict.com. And that's a website that'll keep you up to date on a lot of the events going on.
And I'm sure in the future you guys will be able to go to leapitslive.com and click on that logo and you go right to it. We're working on that, folks. Don, the future. When you're going to retire eventually, when you come back here, say 10 years from now, well, you're not going to leave, are you? I don't know.
No, I plan on staying. I love Fort Myers.
Yeah, you branded here, so if you stay here, you have a lot of opportunities. You probably be like a legend. You have statues built for you and all of that.
Only in my own mind.
Hey, Don, 10 years from now, walking on the River District, what is it going to look like in your ideal world?
My ideal world, you're going to see the completed new hotel, the Sheraton on the waterfront, the block just to the east of that, what we call the Smith Block.
Can I shorten that to 5 years and we'll still see that what you're naming now?
The hotel you're going to see in about 2.5 years.
Okay.
It's going to be finished. We're going to actually get started on that construction schedule to start the 1st of January of 2016.
Okay.
So you'll see that sooner rather than later. On some of the other blocks, though, you're going to see a mix of development, ground floor retail and restaurant spaces along Edwards Drive with parking garage, and then residential buildings overlooking the yacht basin and some office space up above the Bay Street side of that block. You're going to see the old Amtel Hotel down the street. They just started construction on that. That's being renovated at a $60 million rehab to make that into a senior independent living facility for 55 and up seniors.
I've read about that. Who's going to manage that? Going to be under the housing
Actually,
authority?
it's going to be a very upscale market rate development. It's being done by Bob McFarland.
Excellent.
And he's hired a national consulting or management company that manages facilities like that. And so that's going to be a very upscale facility over there. So you're going to see the waterfront a lot more active, still open to the public. Expansion perhaps of our Centennial Park with an amphitheater right on the waterfront to be able to do concerts and events a little bit closer into downtown in addition to the big part of the park. But you'll just see an expanded downtown. It's growing east to the Fowler Street area. We've had over 12 new businesses move in to the Fowler Street area, which we're doing a neighborhood plan for that neighborhood. It's called Gardner's Park. You've got restaurants and retail shops, and that area is going to become more of an artist community over there.
Excellent. We got about 1 minute left. When you mentioned Fowler Street, it kind of lay out what you consider the River District. Would Fowler Street fall into that?
Yes, actually, we consider the River District to be everything from the Edison Ford Winter Estates on the west side of town, just to past Billy's Creek to the Oasis condominium on the east side of town. So we really take in the whole waterfront area, not just the downtown historic district, but along West 1st Street and the east side of 1st Street as well.
Man, I tell you, I got a cool job. I learned a lot just sitting here doing this job. Don, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I want to thank you for, again, having Lee Pitts live out here. And we're certainly going to be back in the very near future.
Well,
Let's bump you out.
We'd like you back permanently, so we'll see what we can do.
Hey, Don, I know you got to go to a meeting that's going to take 5 hours. Maybe we'll have our 5-hour meeting. We'll work that out. I like the accommodations here. We're going to go to a break. For those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Don Paight and all the fine people who've been associated with this fine River District. Lee Pitts Live, we've had a great time being here. When we come back, we'll have an opportunity to talk to Pastor Afford, and his wife that I got a chance to talk to at the NAACP in Collier County's banquet that took place, and all that's happening right here on Lee Pitts Live. Keep it locked. We'll be right back.